What made your friend stop eating delicious chocolate cake? Why did that consumer buy that new car model that was advertised but has such a strange design? The general question is, why do people behave the way they do? In this video, I will explain the theory of planned behavior, which gives us some insight into the processes that take place before we act. The theory of planned behavior is an important psychological framework developed by Icek Ajzen. This theory helps us understand the decision-making process behind why we engage in certain behaviors and is therefore very useful and often used in marketing to explain consumer behavior. Whether it's adopting a new habit, making healthier choices, or responding to marketing campaigns, the theory of planned behavior offers valuable insights into how our intentions guide our actions. My name is Matthias Glaser. Let's get right into it. According to the theory of planned behavior, the most important predictor of whether we will perform a behavior is our intention to do so. And that intention is shaped by three main factors: attitude toward the behavior, subjective norms, and perceived behavior control. First, we have attitude toward the behavior. This refers to whether we evaluate the behavior as positive or negative. In other words, if we believe that behavior will lead to desired outcomes, we are more likely to feel positive about it and will intend to engage in it. Take exercise, for example. If you believe that regular exercise will improve your health and make you feel good, you're likely to develop a positive attitude toward it, which in turn makes you more likely to intend to exercise. Or if you believe that chocolate cake is bad for you, you will develop a negative attitude toward eating chocolate cake and may stop eating it. A very tragic development, but I try to stay professional here and keep going. But that was just a tear. Or an advertising campaign for a car may promote a positive attitude toward owning a car with a strange design. The basic idea is that our attitudes guide our intentions, which in turn make it more likely that the behavior will occur. However, there are two other factors that are also related to our attitudes and that also impact our intentions: subjective norms and perceived behavioral control. The next factor is subjective norms. These are the social pressures we feel about whether or not we should engage in a behavior. Essentially, it's about how much influence those around us, friends, family, or society at large, have on us and our intentions, our decisions. For example, if your family or social group values fitness and encourages you to exercise, you're likely to feel pressure to follow through. In marketing, this happens when a product becomes popular because everyone in your social circle uses it. Think of the widespread popularity of smartphones or social media apps. Seeing others adopt a product can significantly influence your intention to do the same. Now, just because we want to do something does not mean that we can do it, or even that we think we can do it. This relates to the third factor, which is perceived behavioral control. Perceived behavioral control refers to how easy or difficult we think it will be to perform a behavior. This is similar to self-efficacy, how much control we feel we have over our own actions. For instance, even if you have a positive attitude toward exercise and feel social pressure to exercise, if you believe you don't have enough time or access to a gym, your perceived control is low and you may not intend to exercise. In marketing, perceived control comes into play when brands make their products more accessible. When a company makes its product easy to buy and use, whether through convenient online shopping or hassle-free, easily accessible free trials, it increases perceived behavioral control, which encourages consumers to act. Also, think about return policies. If they are too cumbersome, customers may not return their faulty or disliked product, but they will be unsatisfied and this will hurt your brand in the long run. In short, make the customer journey easier and simpler so that perceived behavioral control is high. We have seen the importance of convenience and ease of purchase. Just look at how online retail has exploded over the years. Buying is a click away, control is high, and it is super convenient. Imagine if you had to find a brick and mortar store and check if the product was even available there. This would reduce your perceived behavioral control and you might reconsider your purchase. Of course, there are also reasons why consumers seek out physical stores. To recap, the theory of planned behavior tells us that our intentions to perform a behavior are shaped by three factors: our attitude toward the behavior, subjective norms or social pressures we feel, and perceived behavioral control or how easy we think it will be to actually perform the behavior. When these three factors combine to create a strong intention, the likelihood of actually performing the behavior increases. However, not all of these factors necessarily have the same effect. For example, one may increase intention while the other may decrease it. Still, it's important to note that perceived behavioral control can directly influence behavior, especially if it accurately reflects our actual ability to perform the action. The theory of planned behavior is widely used in a variety of fields. In health campaigns, the theory of planned behavior helps us understand how to encourage behaviors like exercising or eating healthier. In environmental campaigns, it explains why some people are more likely to recycle. And in marketing, the theory reveals how brands can influence consumer decisions, whether by shaping positive attitudes through advertising, leveraging social norms, or making products more accessible to increase perceived control. In conclusion, the theory of planned behavior offers a valuable framework for understanding how and why we decide to act. By considering our attitudes, the influence of those around us, and how much control we feel we have, marketers, health professionals, and policymakers can better predict our intentions and ultimately our behavior to some extent. Then how can we shape attitudes to support healthier living, sustainable consumer behavior, brand purchase, and pro-social choices? I explain more about the persuasive processes that can be triggered by communication messages in this video about the elaboration likelihood model. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next video.